Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing super well today. Before we jump into the video, I just want to say thank you guys for the love on the patio makeover. I know there's still more to do, but so far you guys are loving it. And actually on the first night that I completed the patio, we had our first little guest visit us. The cat has been showing up at our house a lot more frequently, which honestly kind of makes me happy and also makes me want to get a cat. But anyways, for today's video, we are heading to a couple of thrift stores. I've really been craving a thrift store trip. There's so many great ones around me that I've been meaning to check out. They are on my bookmarks list and I am making it a priority today to visit some of them. The last time I went to one, I was so impressed by the selection and I just want to dive back into the wild west of California thrift stores. It's been a while since I've done a challenge, so I thought that I would put my skills to the test and give myself only $100 budget. That is all that I get to spend on the projects, which includes the actual item. I also have a bunch of leftover materials like wood and paint that I want to use up, so I will try my best to calculate that into the project total. So I think we can make this happen, but honestly, you never know with thrift store pricing, so we will see what we find today. Here's a quick look at what has been on my Pinterest board lately. So usually I have kind of a rotating list of projects that I want to do. We still have a lot of blank walls in the apartment, so I want to find something to create some wall decor other than frames. Big item I want to work on today is actually an ottoman. Those can get a little bit pricey, so I think that finding one secondhand would be very ideal. For now, let's head to the thrift store. Hopefully the thrift gods will be on our sides today and fingers crossed we find some good items. So we made it to the first spot. This is Home Consignment Center in Irvine, which a lot of you guys actually recommended to me. Can you guys hear that? I don't think I've ever been to a consignment center that has only home stuff. So you want to come here if you're looking specifically for furniture. I'm not sure what the prices are like here, so that is definitely gonna affect my $100 budget. So hopefully the prices here are decent. Judging just on the outside, it looks pretty big. So let's go inside and see what we can find. This bar cart is pretty cute, but it's also $200, so not in the budget today. Okay, an ottoman, $50. I like that it has storage. It's a little too small though. Guys, this is a boucle curved headboard, and I had a feeling this was castlery, and it is. Okay guys, did not buy anything there, but it honestly had so much good stuff. If you're looking for large furniture or large artwork, definitely check this place out. Not everything there had the brand names on the tags, but I did notice they had bigger brands like Crate and Barrel, Room and Board, and as you guys saw, even a castlery piece, which I wonder if someone just sold that piece there. It literally looked brand new though. Also, I have to mention the prices here. Everything was a little bit out of the budget because we're only working with $100. I'm not sure if you can haggle here, but the prices were definitely on the higher side. With that said though, I do think everything was priced pretty fairly based on the quality. If you're in the OC, definitely check this place out, but I did notice that they are moving soon, so check for the new address. We're gonna head to the second thrift store, so we are going to the Assistance League. So they have a couple of locations. This was also recommended by you guys, and it's kind of like a curated thrift store. It almost looks like a boutique from the pictures that I've seen. It's almost like Christmas Day because you never know what little presents you're gonna find. Part of the thrill of thrifting is going often, and even though we didn't find anything this time around, I'm sure we're gonna find some good stuff today. Okay, that place was so small, but I found some really good treasures and I honestly can't wait to show you guys. So I'm gonna do a quick car haul. So I got 4 items and I only spent $18, which I never realized thrift stores don't charge you tax, right? I think so. Okay, first item is this little ceramic stand. This definitely would make a cute plant stand or a light. Both of the ends have an open top, so we'll see what we make with this, and this was only $5. This next item is probably not even something I'm gonna use right away, but I found a fish tin. I guess it's a baking mold of some sort. I'm gonna start collecting copper things because I just imagine having a beautiful kitchen with lots of cute copper things that are hanging on the wall. So such a cute find, and this was also $5. I've been getting really lucky at finding wavy frames, so I found this one right away. This is only $3. It is super unique. I love that it has the wavy profile. I'm not sure about the color yet, but I don't mind it. Okay, and lastly, this is the biggest item, but it was also only $5. The home section there honestly wasn't that big, but I saw this on the top shelf, and it is a wine rack. Look at the squiggles on this. This honestly is just so good. Personally, I think that the squiggle trend is here to stay because it is a retro piece that we are bringing back, and I feel like it is still trending now. So when I saw this, I just knew that I had to get it. Not very sturdy though. I have an idea for it, so we will see what I make. We are back at home. I honestly feel like I hit the jackpot with that last place because there were so many good items. I literally stood there for like 10 minutes trying to decide what I was actually bringing home with me. So let's do a quick haul. This first item literally looks like my inspo photos that I showed you guys. It's this little shelf thingy. There are two mirrors inside of it. This is unfortunately broken, so I'm gonna have to replace it or do something else with it. But look at this shape. It is perfect. I love that there is a curve at the bottom, and I definitely plan on making this a little wall candle holder, which I've been wanting. I honestly just can't believe my luck with this one. And it was only $4. This vase was one of the first things that I saw there. It was $8, which honestly isn't too bad. Don't really love the color. At least I don't think I'm gonna keep it like this, but the shape of it is perfect though because it is timeless and also very in style right now. I found the smallest little rolling pin. This was $2. So I got this because it doesn't take up a lot of space and I can use it for all of my clay projects. And one of you actually DM'd me on Instagram and told me that this looks like an Indian rolling pin, and I looked it up and I think it totally is one. So this is such a fun find. And last but certainly not least, the biggest item I found there was this Target ottoman, which is currently sold on their website for $100. And this is literally brand new. It's a little bit dirty, but it is brand new with the tags, and it was only $35, which is such a good steal. There's also a version on Crate & Barrel's website right now that is $300, so this is a great dupe for that. I honestly can't believe that we found this because I kind of gave up after the first and second stores, so seeing this at the very end, I don't know, I feel like it was a sign. Okay, so in total, I spent $88 on all the items I bought today. But for the purpose of this video, I'm only gonna total up each project that I'm actually doing with the item. This definitely was a successful thrifting day for me. I'm gonna start brainstorming and we can jump right into the projects. Let's work on this beautiful piece. I feel like this is one of a kind. Let me know if you guys know what this originally was intended for. I am gonna turn this into a candle sconce, aka a candle altar or a candle shrine. I really like the idea of calling it a candle shrine, so that's what we're gonna name this project. The wood on this honestly is not in the best condition. The top coat kind of has like this weird layer. It's also obviously a little dirty from being in the store. I'm gonna get started by actually sanding everything down and also removing the mirror inside so that I can replace it and make this look a little bit better. I should probably wear gloves for this. I think they just stapled this in with some paper behind it. It's literally tape that has no residue left on it. The broken mirror. Oh, I think this one was also broken. So both of the sides were broken. I think this might have been a handmade piece because there's a signature on the back. I think it says Glenn, blend. What is that? I might actually keep it without any mirrors in it because I think it looks pretty cool. Whoa, do you guys see that? I've never had this happen before. This joint compound hack has quickly become one of my favorite ways to really transform any piece because it gives such a beautiful stone-like finish. Just make sure to do thin, even layers and let it dry in between because if you do it too thick, you risk cracking. I wanted my design to be minimal but also impactful, so I started with a thin border and I'm using a nail art brush for this. I find that it does such a great job at fine line details, so I will link the ones that I'm using below. And for a fun pop-up pattern, I did some stripes along the inside edge of the diamonds. I like that it just peeks through a little bit. I love whenever I get to do little paintings like this because it gives me a chance just to sit down, relax, listen to an audiobook, sing along to music. It is really therapeutic for me. But I'm not gonna lie, with this piece, it was a little bit hard to paint on just because there were so many angles, but we made it work. And for the focal point, I'm painting a moth because I thought it'd be a fun way to play on the phrase like a moth to a flame. This is gonna sit right above the candle and I just thought it was so fitting. And after painting this one, I actually wanna add more moth decor to my home, so do not be surprised if I do more DIYs with moths in them. Oh my gosh. This needs a good cleaning. There's so much lint on it. These two items were probably my favorite finds from this trip, and I honestly am still shook that I found this ottoman last minute. So I actually had these two items sitting next to each other, and I realized that this wine rack actually fits underneath here. So I thought, why not do like a nesting situation and turn this into a little footstool slash table. I think honestly that could look so cool because originally I had planned on taking this apart and doing something with the squiggles, but I'm not too sure of what to do yet. So instead I thought I should leave most of it how it is and just turn it into something else until I'm ready to kind of like take this all apart for a future project. We're gonna use our imagination here and pretend this is not a wine rack. And if we put a top on it, which I happen to have this piece of scrap wood, which is a little beat up, so I don't think I'm gonna use this one, but I could just place it right on top and screw it into place. And this would be such a cool little footstool. I mean, how cool would that be sitting next to each other? As for the ottoman, it is pretty dirty, so I'm gonna try my best to clean it up. Going into this, I was prepared to totally transform an old ottoman, but honestly, this really doesn't need that much work, so I am going to change the color. So to help with some of the staining, I decided we're gonna dye the whole thing and kind of give it a new life. Ow. Clearly this white has to go, so we are using some dye. I want it to be a terracotta color, which they don't sell, so I bought an orange and a brown, and I'm gonna mix them together and hopefully it creates the perfect color. I'm actually really nervous, and usually when I do thrift flips, I don't feel too bad about changing an item, but since this item is basically new and I know that it is $100, I just don't want to mess it up. So whenever you're trying something new to a piece, what I like to do is actually start in a place that no one will really see. So I'm going to start by dyeing the inside part. So I'll start with this underside first to make sure I have the color just right, and then we're going to do the whole entire thing. So This is one coat of the dye and it's already looking really light, so I'm interested to see how light this gets once it dries. More than likely, I'm gonna have to do another layer, so we'll check back on this tomorrow and reevaluate. Okay, let's take this apart. It's held by screws, so it should be pretty easy, except I'm seeing that some of these screws are stripped. That might be an issue. And then look at how wobbly this is. Wow, this is seriously like the most perfect vintage squiggle, because if you've ever seen those squiggle lamps, I feel like this could definitely be used for that. You can use this horizontally or vertically for different projects, so I'm definitely going to keep that in mind for future project ideas when I'm tired of using it as a footstool. You guys know that I've done countless dupes on this channel before, and I am a huge advocate for DIY because you really don't need to spend a lot to have a beautiful home. Creating your own pieces and adding treasures that you find along the way is truly what makes your house special. And don't get me wrong, I am someone who will splurge on a piece of furniture, but decor is usually where I like to save and get creative. And doing a challenge like this forces me to think outside the box and use things I already have. So this budget is definitely keeping me in check, because I don't know about you guys, but even when I set a budget for little decor pieces here and there, things add up quickly. Okay, so halfway through I ran out of spray paint, so I'm gonna have to buy more and also add this to the budget, so hopefully it doesn't affect it too much. So not only is shopping secondhand more sustainable, but also it just makes me feel a little less guilty buying more decor, because let's be honest, you can never have too much decor, right? I love filling my home with special pieces, and this one right behind me definitely is a one-of-a-kind piece, and it was only made possible by going to the thrift store and making something completely new. With inflation nowadays, I feel like $100 is not stretching as far as it used to, but with some secondhand pieces and DIY magic, I feel like we really made it happen, and I have so many other pieces that are waiting to be made over. I had so much fun shopping and DIYing with you guys, so if you liked this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe down below for new videos every single week. And if you want to see more from me, I do share behind the scenes over on my stories on Instagram, so I will have that all linked down below for you. Next week, we are finishing the patio, so I hope you guys are excited for that. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay inspired, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!